So if you're looking to move to Houston, Texas, or relocate here from a different city, one of the main neighborhoods that I recommend to people is the Heights. I just love so many aspects of this neighborhood, from the architecture, to the walkability, to the school systems, to all the restaurants. I think you can find an entry point into this neighborhood in the $400,000 range, but a lot of this is gonna depend on the bed bath count. Now, a lot of the people that we help out on our team are either coming from California, out of state, where comparatively speaking, the real estate here is a little bit more affordable. Or we find a lot of people in the Houston area that are just looking to upgrade. Today, I wanted to specifically talk about what $1 million buys you in the historic Heights neighborhood. Before we jump into that, my name is Rob Abasolo. I'm part of your local realty team here, specializing in the Heights and surrounding areas. So if you're looking to get into your first home or upgrade into your dream home, we can help you do that. I'll leave our contact info in the description down below for you, where you can fill out a form, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I can get you connected with someone over on my team. So just looking at some of the market insights here. Well, first of all, I'm going to input the main zip code here for the Heights, which is 77008. And then you can hover over here to the market insights tab. And this is a little bit more where you can learn the data behind the Heights. So right now, the median sale price in the Heights is $587,500, which is a 15.2% increase year over year. So as you can see, appreciation just doing its thing in the Heights neighborhood is already driving the prices up a little bit. But here's a few more interesting things here. So the number of homes sold this June was 357, which is down 20.3% year over year. Last year in June, 448 homes were sold. I think there are a few reasons that contribute to this, but we'll talk about this later in the video or in a different video if you're interested in seeing that. And right now, the median days on the market is 7. Last year, it was 14. So you actually had a much better chance of getting into a home a year ago, whereas right now, things are still relatively competitive. In 1 week, the average home is being snapped up off the market, which I think is really interesting because a lot of people are sort of sitting on the sidelines and they're waiting for the market to crash. But the fact of the matter is, even with interest rates rising, people are still moving to Houston. It's still a very competitive real estate market. And because the Heights is such a prestigious and sought out after neighborhood, it's even more competitive than ever. Now, we are seeing it soften like a hair, but not enough to sit on the sidelines and wait for something catastrophic to happen, because I just don't think that's happening here. There's simply just not enough supply in the neighborhood. Okay, so actually a couple other cool little tools here. Redfin puts this zip code, the Heights, as very competitive. It ranks at a 71 out of 100. So that should tell you a little bit about where we're at. Actually, a really crazy stat here. Homes that sold at the actual price that they were listed at are 101.7. Here's the crazy stat. Homes sold above list price in the last year is 52.9%. Over half of the homes that are being sold in the Heights are going above asking. So that alone right there should give you a pretty good indication of how competitive it is in this neighborhood. So that's a bird's eye view of the market really fast. So now let's see what's actually available for sale in that $1 million price range. So I'm gonna do a couple of things here. I'm gonna set a couple of filters here, because typically people that are looking to buy $1 million house, they want their own space. It's not gonna be a condo, though I'm sure that they do exist. And they're not really gonna settle for anything less than 3 bedrooms. So let's just eliminate a few things. A 3-bedroom, 2-bath. This is actually pretty similar to the house that I bought too. And then for the price, we will set a max of 1.1 million, because you might be able to come in a little asking on some properties that might need a little bit of work. So now that we've narrowed it down, you'll see there aren't really a ton of options. This right here isn't really the Heights. I would say truly to stay in the Heights, you want to stay right at the North Shepherd Drive mark. I mean, if you're in between North Shepherd Drive and Durham, I don't think anyone's gonna really call you out for it. But there are some Heights purists, I suppose.
That is sort of an oaky afterbirth.
What was that?
But really, this is gonna be our focus area. This little area right here. Right off the bat, my favorite location out of all of these is gonna be this $1.03 million house. This is just my favorite little pocket in the Heights. There's a lot of walkable stuff up here. A lot of the streets in this neighborhood are completely remodeled or brand new. Lots of construction, so if you're spending $1 million, you don't have to worry about too many eyesores on your street. I'm not really gonna include this because I don't really think it's in the Heights. It's what I would call NTH, near the Heights, but it's not in the Heights. So this first one is a really nice Victorian home. It actually comes in right under $1 million at $975. It's a 3,500 square feet. This is what I expect to pay for a home in this price range, about 3,000 square feet, 3.5 baths. As you can see here, it actually looks to be relatively remodeled. Probably am not gonna be spending $1 million on something that needs too much TLC, unless the appraised value of the house that needs a little TLC is much higher than the purchase price. But in this instance, it looks like the house is relatively remodeled, and this is a very common theme that we see often in the Heights. Really dark wood floors, dark trim. A lot of the homes here tend to be craftsmen. I don't often see this exact thing in a Victorian, but it does make sense for the architectural style. Every house is different here, and people always remodel their houses based on their taste. I like it though. It's not mismatched at all. It's kind of a modernized Texas look, I'd say, for a Victorian, but all in all, it's retained a ton of character. If you like Victorians, then I'd say that this is pretty much a home run for you. A couple other things that I like to look at when I'm doing this is just the street view, just to see what my neighbors look like. Okay, some bougainvilleas. All in all, okay, we got a house here with blue tarps on it. This was made in 2022. So for a second there, I thought that this was an abandoned hoarder house, but you can see the plastic Tyvek weather barrier. So I think they're just expanding this house. But as you can see, very cute street. which is what I love about the Heights, is there are more streets like this than not. So gut check for me. Location is pretty good, neighbors are pretty good, quality of the home is pretty good. I'd probably rock something like this. Even if you're on the fence about Victorians, I think that this isn't so leaning into that architectural style that it'd be a turnoff for you. Let's see what else we got here. So this is 925,000. It's a 3, 2.5, and 2,300 square feet or so. Now the house on the outside appears to be a little bit older, but let's take a look at the inside. Whoa, that is green, but it is remodeled. So I do want to caution you that if you don't like the green, don't be like, oh, I'm not gonna buy the house. I would say if you don't like the green, use it as a bargaining chip to negotiate the price down. But remember, with $200, $300, you can buy 5 gallons of paint, paint this whole thing. If you want to hire some painters, my team will connect you with some. So don't worry about that. Don't let something like that turn you off. But all in all, very remodeled, very nice. I would say the inside is not necessarily an accurate representation of the outside. Because like I said, the outside needs a little bit of love. With a little bit of paint in a weekend, you could get this painted. Again, you can hire a team, and I think this house will look good as new. And honestly, looking at it close up, it's not really quite as bad as I thought. I think it's just the roof is a little bit older. But yeah, 925, that's coming in under $1 million, which I think is pretty nice. It's been on Redfin for 61 days, so something like this probably has a little bit of negotiating power. And again, let's check out that street view just to see what the deal is, because who knows? Maybe it's in front of a cemetery or something like that, and that's why it hasn't sold. But from what I could see, oh man, yeah, this is a great neighborhood. I drive by this house a couple times a week. Yeah, I love this part of the neighborhood. There's still a few houses in this area that need a little bit of love, but for the most part, there's massive activity from real estate flipping to remodeling to new constructions happening in this exact neighborhood. So this one checks the box for me, and there's an amazing park nearby. It's blurred out on Google for some reason, but right back here, you can kind of see it. It's really, really nice. Nicholson, great road. Let me take a look here just to confirm it's exactly where I thought. Yeah, so I like Nicholson. I think it's a really great part of the neighborhood. And this house comes in at 1.1 million, so a little bit high, but let's look. It's been on the market for 2 hours, so probably not gonna be a lot of negotiating power, but it does look really nice and remodeled, and this style right here, very prominent in the Heights. Awesome little lap pool. You can stay in here with your friends, drink a beer, drink a cocktail, and it's not too much to maintain. That is the size of my pool. Perfect. I wouldn't want a pool any bigger than that. Yeah, great. Everything here, remodeled, beautiful home, well worth, very close to designer grade kitchen. Very nice. Yeah, so I think if you're in that $1.1 million price range, this house for sure checks a lot of boxes for me. It is a little small for what I'd be looking for, but it is a complete remodel, and that does count for quite a bit in this neighborhood because a lot of the homes are really old. So if you can get something that's like completely refurbished, great. But here's the best part. Check it out. This walking trail is awesome. I've walked it, I've ran it, I've ridden bikes on it. Very, very cool. So this right here, from an appreciation standpoint, is pretty safe that it's going to keep going up in value. So this is 995,000. This is something that's so common in the Heights, those very tall townhomes. It's probably technically a freestanding home, but you could argue that it's townhome style. This is $1 million. It's very expensive, but it's also very tall. Pretty nice. Not exactly my cup of tea, but I do really like the ceilings and the setup and the staging that they've done here. So yeah, I think this one is all about the location. If you like the location, if you don't want the yard, if you don't want the yard maintenance, you want to live in a community, this is going to be a really great spot. I suspect this is probably a newer build too. Yeah, this is built in 2017. Effectively a brand new construction, a 3.5, 3,000 square feet. Checks most of the boxes. I'd like a yard personally, but again, some people don't want that. And the location of this is really, really great too. And all of the buildings are pretty luxury, and this is really close to Torchy's Tacos, which is one of my favorite taco places in the city. This is all about location specifically, because not only do you have Torchy's here, but you have access to the most charming street in the Heights, which has Jenny's Ice Cream, bunch of cocktail bars, Hop Dotty, antique shops, cremation shops, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's all really, really nice. You were like, wait a minute, did he just say cremation? Yes, I did. Let's move on here. So this is a new construction. They probably have houses of things that they've completed, but if you're buying this, you're probably waiting for it to actually be completed. So we won't spend too much time here. And last one here, Tulane. Yeah, this is right in the heart of the Heights. I love this area, and I love this street, and I love this home. And it comes in at $1,025,000. This is a very standard architecture style for the Heights. I love this. I'm a big fan, and it does look like it's relatively remodeled. No crazy frills or bells or whistles or anything like that, but it's a really nice home that's an open canvas. But I will say this bathroom is awesome. Okay, this is nice and designed. I guess this is right in the living room. Nice bold colors. Don't get hung up on that. A couple $100. You can paint it white. You can paint it pink if you want to. I don't care, but you can change the color. A lot of people are like, I don't like blue. I don't want the house. And I'm like, it's nominal. Don't focus on the colors. You can change that, and you can use it as your bargaining chip if it's been on the market for too long. Yeah, all in all, very, very nice shotgun style home. I like it a lot. These are my favorite kind of floors. You see this very often in the Heights because a lot of the homes were originally built with hardwood floors, and so when remodelers come in, they rip out carpets, they redo them, and they always end up looking really nice, and it's really cool to say that your floor is 50 years old. Yeah, so for $1,025,000, this one makes a lot of sense for me. So yeah, so this one does say it was remodeled remodeled down to the studs. They added square footage. It's 2,600 square feet. It's a 4.5, $1,025. Right in the zone, probably a hair expensive, but I'm really not mad about it. Let's see, how long has it been on the market? Yep, 70 days. So this is what you want. If you want an old home with a ton of character, you kind of want it to be torn down to the studs and rebuilt, because it's gonna be an old creaky home full of spirits and ghosts that haunt you at night, and you don't want those problems. So remodel it down to the studs so the ghosts can escape. But yeah, anyways, it's been on the market for 70 days. A few things could explain that. It could have gone into escrow a few times, fallen out, and really driven up that days on market number. And if it fell out of escrow, it's not necessarily this home's fault. It could have been the buyer couldn't perform with their financing. All right, well, this is interesting. On June 3rd, it was listed at $1.118 million, and then it went pending, and then it was relisted, and now it's $1,025,000. So there you go. They came in a little hot. They didn't get the price they wanted. They dropped it down. There might even still be a little room on something like this, honestly. Okay, so let's take a look at the street view. Just make sure that we're all good to go here. Oh man, yeah. This is my favorite type of street, when all the different oaks just cover the street. Probably annoying in the fall when your cars get pollen all over the place, but great street and really great area. I like it a lot. This is a pocket that I'd probably try to buy in myself. And that's it. I hope you learned something today. That's what you can buy in the Heights for $1 million. And to be honest, like I said earlier, there's just not a ton. There's 6 listings. So what does that mean? That means that supply is down. There's still a lot of people that are trying to move here and snap up these houses. When a really good one pops up, it flies off the shelf. There's always these brand new 1.4, 1.5, $1.6 million homes. They're not even here because the moment they come on the market, it's just like, they're gone. So all to say, if you want my team to create a list for you, that way you're notified when something within your criteria goes on sale, you'll be the first to know. Again, my name is Rob Abasolo. All of our contact info is in the description down below, and I'll get you set up with someone on the team to make sure that we get you into the house of your dreams. Oh my goodness, look at that. Should have been a rapper. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the like button if you like this content. All right, goodbye.